I've applied to schools, and what's the next step? How do I go about the visa stage? And I'm about to start the journey, but I'm so confused. I don't know where to get started. The authentication, the legalization, schools, the the application system. How does it work and everything? These are some of the questions I receive every day. And the funny thing is keeps coming over and over again. People keep asking the same thing like over and over again. So I actually got tired. So I actually want to clarify some things on this video. First of all, let's start from the very top. Like, what's the first thing to do? First of all, the first thing to do is to get your document. Now, these documents are your school documents. Let's say, for example, you want to go for BXC. What do you need? Your WAEC or your OND. The original certificate, please. The original certificate and the transcript. This transcript can be from your JS1 to SS3 or your SS1 to SS3. It will fly. Not the school copy, not the ones you can print in cyber cafe. No, the original. That's what you need. Now, if you are going for MSc, which is for masters, what do you need? Your HND original certificate or your BS original certificate and the transcript. After you have sorted out all these things, what's the next stage? Then you go to Abuja, Ministry of Education, you authenticate. You go to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you authenticate. When this one is done, fine, you have cleared out those ones out. Then the next stage again, you book legalization date with the Portuguese embassy. Date actually few. Sometimes date comes out. Sometimes might even book like 4 months ahead. No problem. Just book. Then on that day, you go there and submit. First of all, you pay for verification. Verification, the lawyer have to call you, ask you questions. Sometimes the lawyer might even want to see you. During my own time, the lawyer called me. He asked me, where do I live? Where do I stay? I said, okay, currently I'm in Lagos. He said, okay, that let's meet. I actually met the embassy lawyer one in one inside Lasso one Saturday like that. So I was there. I went there. I met with the lawyer. He asked me questions. He asked me to bring a photocopy of myself, my address, my passport photo, and all of that. Like a a photocopy of my photo, and all of this. I went there. I met with the man. The man saw me. He said, "Okay, this is okay. This is your document, right? What do you want to go and do in Portugal?" I told him and everything. He said, "Okay, fine, no problem." He said I should go. That I will hear from the embassy for my legalization. I said, "Okay." That was just it. All right, but all these things took time. Like it takes time. I must say it takes time. For like example, like I waited like close to 4 weeks before the embassy, before they called me for legalization. The thing now is, if you are in another state, like if you're somewhere else, it's not a must that you will do the whole thing yourself. Someone can actually do it for you. Like I said, my friend helped me with the legalization of a thing. So once you have actually sorted this one out, then the next stage is start applying for schools. There's so many schools in Portugal. There's polytechnics, there's vocational schools, there's universities you can actually apply. All these are based on what you want. Now let's say for example you want to go for BXC. Now the problem with BSc is some of the courses are in Portuguese, they are taught in Portuguese. That's the issue. For the courses for BSc, for most schools, they are all taught in Portuguese. So for somebody who is not coming from a Portuguese speaking country is actually a problem, because even though you want to try to say okay, I speak Portuguese, let me apply, they will still ask you to prove a B for you to provide B2 certificate of Portuguese proficiency. That's a problem. So but there's still English courses. For example, Polytechnic of Lira, they offer one course in multimedia in 2D game development. That's the only course in English. Or as for someone who wants to try, you can actually want to go for that. But there's also other courses like Nova IMS. They have courses in English. Just that some of these schools that have English speaking courses, it's a bit expensive, like 7,000 euros 5,000 euros, 6,000 euros for for BSc courses. But if it is for MSc for masters, it's actually easy. There's a lot of courses out there for masters that you can actually apply to, very cheap, and they have a lot of English speaking courses for masters too. They you can also apply to. Now, I will actually advise guys that I will advise you guys based on my personal experience. If you want to apply to any of these schools, just take your time, read the requirements. Some of these programs, they have special requirements. The academic equivalence certificate you can use to apply, the requirements and everything. Just take your time, read before you apply. Make sure that at least you met all the requirements before you apply. Some schools will tell you that they need legalization before you apply. All right? Don't just go and apply when you have not legalized your documents. It's just more like you are trying to test the waters. It might go well, it might not go well. Some school, you might apply to some schools, then they will mail you back and inform you, please, we want you to submit a legalized copy of your document. And if you tell them that you don't have it, or maybe you're on process, they might give you time, provide it between this date to this date. And if you don't provide it, you might lose the opportunity for that application for that year. So that is why all these are necessary to handle, like the legalization of a thing. Just take your time, do it. So once you have actually done the legalization and you start applying to schools, personally, I would advise you to apply like 1, 2, or 3 schools. Apply to 2 or 3 schools, all right? Because it will help you. If this doesn't go, another one will go. Trust me, it's very, very easy. If one denies admission, another one, you have chances to get admission by God's grace. All right. So once you have actually applied and you got admission, the next stage is to quickly move to the visa stage, because things takes time. Now, after you have gotten the admission, now the admission fee is like from 50 euros up, 50, 60, 68. All right. So it's not that quite expensive like that, like other countries. Now, after you have applied and you got your mail that you have been admitted, the school will request that you pay for the registration fee, like from 100 to 150 euros up. So that's what the schools require. So once you pay this registration fee, they might even tell you to pay part of your school fees, as your tuition fee. And the good thing is, most of these schools, they will allow you to pay 10 installments, which is very, very fine. You know, let's say, for example, your school fees is 4k euros, 4k divided by 10. So the fee you pay monthly. So the first month you might just pay. Now, if the school doesn't require you to pay tuition fee until you arrive, fine. But shall just know that you must at least pay something, which we use to show to the consular, okay, this person have actually paid something to this school that he or she is trying to apply for visa. All right. So after you pay the registration fee, then you got here, then you'll be giving your declaration. They call it declaration here, which is your declaration letter, or you call it admission letter. Then you can actually go ahead to start your visa process. Now, for the visa process now, what do you need? First of all, I would actually advise, try to gather the documents before you book date with VFS. Though getting the date with VFS now is a little bit difficult. And the good news is, some of these schools, they have this, like, they can actually help you to get dates. Let's say, for example, you have gotten admission, then you are free, then all your documents, you have gathered it for visa application. You can actually mail your school, inform your school that it's very difficult to get date for visa submission. Then your school now will write to the embassy in Nigeria, if you are from Nigeria, informing them that so student is finding it difficult to apply for visa and they're expecting a student to come for that particular academic year. The embassy now will write to VFS in Nigeria, informing them to give you a date. That was what we did. In my own time, that's what I did. I informed the school that I'm finding it difficult to get a visa submission date. The school now have to write to the embassy in Nigeria. The embassy now wrote to VFS. VFS now sent me the embassy now gave me a date, which they got from VFS. All right. So it's very, very simple. That is if you are finding it difficult to get date. So let's say, for example, you have gotten date, or maybe you are trying to gather your document before you start looking for date. Now, what do you need? Your passport is already there. Your declaration, which is your declaration letter, is already there with you. Your receipt of payments, your application fee receipt, your registration fee receipt, your tuition part payment receipt is there. It's already there already. Now, what do you need? you go ahead and apply for your PCC, police character certificate. You go to Alagbon in Lagos, you go there, you do it. So once you don't print that day, you're getting it for sure. So once you get it that day, then you can send it to Abuja for authentication. Please mind you, PCC lasts for is only valid for 3 months. And if you have done it before, please don't be like me. When I applied for job seeker visa, I did the PCC. I went there, it unprinted, but my job seeker was denied. So when I was going for, when I was applying for the study visa, I still went back to Alagbo there to go and thumbprint, only for me to find out that you only thumbprint once. So if you have thumbprinted before, you don't need to thumbprint. Just pay online, then the PCC will be sent to you. All you just need to do is just send it to Abuja to someone, or you can go to Abuja to authenticate it. Only authentication this period. You are not legalizing. The legalization will be taken care of by VFS and all of that. So after you have taken care of your PCC, what next? You can actually download the visa form from the Portugal website and fill if you want to. The VFS officers, when you get to VFS, they will actually take care of those ones for you too. Then, your itineraries, your hotel booking, at least minimum of 1 month, your flight itineraries, your health insurance, your travel insurance, you can get that from Allianz or Ask Mastercard. Then you can get other supporting documents like family photos, recommendation letters. Then you write your letter of intent, or you call it motivation letter. This is where you tell the counselor why you want to go to Portugal, where you want to study this course, your intentions, do you plan to come back or not, and all of that. So once you have all this sorted out, on the day of your appointment in VFS, you go and submit. Now remember, the embassy is not actually collecting documents from people directly. So VFS is the one in charge of those things. So after you have gone to VFS, you go there, you submit all your documents and everything. Remember, you go there with appointment. Once you go there, you submit. Now, the embassy, the VFS will charge you for their own services, the legalization fee. Now, the legalization fee is for the PCC which you authenticated. All right? Because the PCC, which is the police character, it will come back with your visa. All right? So they will charge you for that. They also charge you for courier fee. Now, the courier fee is optional because they will ask you, do you want the courier to deliver your passport to you? Or do you want to come back to your office? And if you want to opt in, it's left to you. Then they'll charge you for visa fee and other things. Then you pay. You are not on printing that day for you. There is no question. Your document is what is speaking for you. There's no question like this and that. No, your document is what is in the whole speaking for you. That's why you need to package your application very, very well. So once you submit at the VFS, then you have to wait. The processing time says like at least 60 days, which is about 2 months. My own took like 2 months and 2 weeks before I was able to get response. So once you get response from the embassy, and I pray it's good news. So you just open your passport, you see the visa there. So you just book your flight and you arrive here. Then you go to the school and report, do the normal registration at the school, and you're a student. Voila, you're in Portugal. Then you start looking for a way to settle in, take care of documentations in the country and everything. So it's not actually that difficult. I know it's not easy, but it's not difficult. It's doable. Let me not use that word, it's doable. It's something that you can actually do. Just follow the plans, just the way I've listed it out. You can do it. The main thing is getting admission. Once you get the admission, you have your declaration letter. Trust me, other things follows. Your bank statements, 3 months bank statements. Now, for the bank statement, let me just try to talk a little bit about the bank statement. For the bank statement, it's very easy. Okay, let's assume that your tuition fee is 4,000 euros. All right, and that 4,000 euros now you have paid like let's say 4,000 divided by 10. What is left? Now the what you got from there and you have paid. So the remaining fee of it is what you will need to add to your POF, and you might just need to add extra money again as means of sustenance. Once you add all these things together, all right, then know that that's your POF. It's very, very simple. Then just let's, for example, like let's say the minimum wage here now is currently for this year is 870. 870 times 12. All right, 870 times 12. You might also want to add something else to it. Then you convert it to naira. That's your POS. Very, very simple. Then you go and submit and pray to God. You get your visa, right? That's very simple. So, right, if you have any questions, please leave it on the comment section and I'll respond to you immediately. Please subscribe to the channel, support the movement, and give this video a thumbs up so that it will be pushed out to people who are also looking for content like this. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace and bye for now. Appreciate you guys.